Matthias, nice to have you here with us. So Matthias Boudier, you took part in a project with us with La Poste, where we received a brief from Micromania to work on certain aspects of communication. So as marketing manager of Micromania, you're obviously the person who had to judge the various things that were which were done by our students.
Absolutely.
First of all, Micromania, who are they?
So Micromania is the leader of video game distribution in France. We belong to a group called GameStop with 6,000 stores worldwide. And in the French market, they have maybe 33%, one-third of the market share. So this is the key partner for all the publishers and consolers to sell their product in France.
Okay, tell me a little bit about this market.
So this market is split between console, PC, digital, physical, and Micromania is more specialized in the console physical for obvious reasons.
Yes.
We have competitors, obviously. Online we have Amazon, like everybody else.
Yes.
And we are also competing with Auchan, Carrefour, Leclerc, which are not specialists. The only specialists are tiny. I mean, we had one competitor called Game who disappeared a few years ago, so we remained the only competitor as a retail chain. All the others are small stores, in cities. But this is pretty much the competitive environment with Amazon, Carrefour, Auchan, Leclerc, and small specialist local.
Okay, so you're absolutely not alone. How is the market?
The industry was going really well until 2008 with the Wii, with Nintendo Wii. And since 2008, the market in France lost 30% in value because of mobile phone, because of digitalization, etc. However, because we gained market share at Micromania, we managed to improve our revenue. So Micromania is still doing really well, despite the fact that the market suffered for the past years.
Okay, and why would I go to Micromania instead of going to one of your competitors? And what have you got that's
the
different,
main
special?
reason why you go to Micromania is because we are close to you. Close geographically speaking, because we have 450 stores. So most likely you'll find one next to your house. And close in a relationship, because we have salespeople who are experts in their field. So if you want to buy a game and you don't really know which one, if you want to have an opinion, if you want to make a gift, and you have no clue, what are the good games and not the good games, you go to Micromania and they'll give you good advice. And you have the loyalty program also that gives good reason to go back to the store.
Absolutely, I can bear witness to that. I have my own loyalty card, and I've been there quite often when I was trying to buy games for my boys. So,
and we thank you.
Well, I thank you because they obviously enjoyed them as well. Okay, so we've got an idea of the market now. So a market which is not easy by the sounds of it. I mean, if you're starting to lose, something like 30% over a period of time, that's an awful lot. Within this, you've got an activity which is the one that we're focusing on, which is selling second-hand games. Now, why? Why are you interested in second-hand games?
So, in order to understand the video game cycle, you need to understand that video games are expensive, and the typical customer would buy a game at 70 euro, play it, and depending on how quick he finished the game, usually within a few weeks he finished his game. So you have two options. Either you keep the game on the shelf, and if you want to buy another game, you need to buy again another game at 70 euros, so it's 140 euros, it's a lot of money. Or what you do is you trade in your game, and we buy you your game, so not for 70, but let's say for 40. And therefore, the next game at 70, since you traded in your game at 40, it only costs you 30 euros. So the used business is very important for the customers because it allows we give them value back, and it boosts the used business, the new business, because without used, you would not be selling as many new games. And also in terms of profitability for Micromania, it's very important because the margin is slightly higher than on the new business. And basically, without the used business, Micromania would not be able to exist because it's a certain percentage of our profitability. So we need also used to survive.
Okay, I can see that. Are the I mean, if you look at the people that buy second-hand games, is it everybody, or is it a special part or a specific part of your customer base?
It's not everybody. It's a good chunk of the customers. But I would say it's either people that you don't see very often because they consider video games very expensive. So when they want to buy video games, they would rather buy the used game. And so these are the people who buy used game. But the people who trade in their game usually are hardcore gamers who play a lot and who need to have this turnover of video games. So it's
to be able to afford the new games. Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you go back? I mean, you do this books, don't you? I mean, sometimes you keep the book on the shelf and you think, well, maybe I'll go back and read it sometime. Do people do the same thing with video games?
It really depends on games. If you buy FIFA, FIFA is a game that you can play all year long. So it's like playing chess with your friends.
Yeah.
You just play FIFA. So you're not going to finish FIFA. FIFA is, you play a soccer game. So, however, if you buy an adventure game with the beginning, mid, and end, and at the end, you understand the plot and who was the bad guy, etc. There is zero reason. You have zero reason to replay this game. So really, depending on the type of game, adventure games. Usually you see them you see them back in the store very quickly. Games like FIFA or Call of Duty, where people shoot themselves all year long, in multiplayer, you don't see them.
You're not going to see them quite as many. So in fact, if I wanted to get a second-hand FIFA, it's going to be more difficult than a second-hand other kind of game.
It's going to be more. You'll still find some. You'll find a lot of them. When the new one is being released, because everybody
move on to the next one.
Exactly. But you're right. Some games the Nintendo games, for instance, are very. People keep them because Mario, people love Mario, and so not all games react the same way in the used business.
Okay. Is there anything that holds people back from buying second-hand games? If you look at books, some people don't like the fact that it's people have read them, used them, and so on. Is that the same with PC with console games, or
you don't have this problem because you have digital content, right? So once you put the CD on a console, the experience that you are going to have is the same. It's not like a used car when if you buy it X number of years after, your car might not have the same quality. A game is a game. Either it works or it doesn't. But if it works, it's fine. And since all these games have a warranty, if it doesn't work, we exchange. So there's no problem on this. It's more on so this is a rational way of thinking. Yeah. But now in terms of perceived value, if you're someone who's very neat and want to have nice things, if you buy a used game and the CD is a scratch, it won't impact the quality of game, but the perceived value is it's worth less. But honestly, these people, you don't have so many people because the reason number one why people want to buy used game is because of the price. Sure. So if they want something nice, they buy it new. And so we can really address both. And those who want to buy used game, it's just because they want to buy it for cheaper, right?
Yeah.